What's up, everyone? Dave over here at Green Hat Kiteboarding.
Your coffee went down.
Oh.
Always something falling.
What's up, everyone? This is Dave over at Green Hat Kiteboarding, and I am here with Ed Junquet, and we are pretty pumped about inviting KT to our shop. We just got these special Super K2s in the shop. This is the Carbon, and Ed got a chance to ride it yesterday, and I just have a few questions just to start off. But first off, this is a Cane to Wild design, obviously working with Keith. So like, would you expect anything less?
No, absolutely not. But I really was surprised. I've heard it on some podcasts before about guys switching to this board for power winging and the quick release off the water. And that's definitely like the most surprising thing for me. It was like, I went out in really light wind after we sent the downwind run and had a 5-meter wing. It's probably about 10 to 15. And it was just like off the water. Barely didn't have to pump my legs at all in very light wind, which normally I would have to on other boards. And there's definitely some magic sauce in this bottom contour and shape.
Totally. So yeah, like in New Jersey, and I don't know about the rest of the East Coast, but we've been having some really light wind days, and it's been getting the wingers of our community frustrated. And you know, the question is like, is it all the other tools of the trade? So like yesterday you rode the 1300 Code S, and you had a 5-meter core Alula
Halo Pro.
Yeah. So do you feel that that combo of everything allowed you to get up on foil quick, or do you think the board had like a lot to do with it?
Well, so like you said, that's kind of been my go-to. Like whenever it's light, I've been riding that exact setup. So it's nice to be able to just change one thing, being the board, and get to feel it. And I think that this board did make a huge difference, because there's no way I would have been able to just get up on foil on other boards. Even like some of my downwind sups, I would have had to probably initiate a pump or two.
Yeah.
And yesterday, I feel like I was able to just sheet in on the wing in 10 to 15, and just the board lifted right off the water.
Yeah, it was super impressive. I mean, there's obviously a weight difference between you and I. You're like 210, 6'3". I'm like, dude, I weighed myself the other day. I'm 136 pounds.
Good for you.
Thanks.
I'm jealous.
Just, dude, it's nothing to be jealous about. But anyway, like, I can just sheet in at times, and I saw you doing that, and I don't know. Like, that was kind of nuts.
Yeah, for the most part, like Dave said, with me being heavier, and especially, you know, this board's a little under volume for me, like, you know, equal body weight, especially for light wind. So typically I gotta, you know, go with the swells, or use a little bit of a bump or a trough or a wave, or, you know, physically put some power down and pump the board, pump the wing. And this was a nice pleasure and change of pace.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think you were gonna get up. I knew that we had, like, yesterday was like an example of like how we do our reviews. We had a little window because the weather was about to go crazy, and I didn't think that there was enough wind, and you made it happen like normal. But I do think that the Super K2 really helped. Design, you know, you've had a bunch of different boards, bunch of different bottom contours, a lot of that stuff. So like, design wise of these boards, I see very subtle, but some really cool attributes. One of the things that I kind of noticed, and I don't know if this is why they do it, but they do this almost, I guess it's a double concave right here. And it is subtle, but so like in surfing, in nose riding, you put concave in the nose to get air, the air traps and lifts you up. I don't know if that's really what this is doing, but I feel like there's a really good reason why it has this round hull style thing, and then these little, like, this is where the water is just kind of lifting through and coming through and just putting you right up.
Yeah, and then it keeps it super flat and kind of wide, but not really when you actually look at the rail design here, because the bottom of the board that's going to be in contact with the water is pretty narrow, even though the board's 20.7 inches wide.
Yeah.
You know, down at the bottom, you're looking at maybe 16, especially as you get closer to the tail, maybe 12 inches. And it just seems to just track off the water. Like for a while I was winging out and I just kind of glued the board to the water just to see what it would do. And the rails weren't pulling either way. The board just wanted to continuously lift off. So it makes sense when you watch all these videos of these KT team riders and they're boosting these jumps, touchdown, and it just re-engages on foil because this thing just does not want to stay in contact with the water, which is awesome.
Totally. And it's, I mean, it's thick at the rail. It is a thick, bulbous rail.
Bulbous.
Bulbous.
Yeah, it's I think about 5.5 inches thick, this one.
Yeah.
And they have a nice bulbous nose as well,
Yeah.
which keeps the nose out of the water, which is nice. It definitely has a good amount of volume up there. The grip was perfect, not too much, not too little. Didn't feel my feet sliding around at all.
Yeah.
Didn't get any rashes on my knees or my feet, which is always a positive.
Yeah. Did you feel, so like these come with the foot straps. Did you have your feet over these little holes at all?
Yeah.
Did you feel the suction?
I did not feel any suction.
Okay.
My feet were probably around the top hole in this middle section, and then my back foot was moving around, but probably when I was just cruising was like a little in front of the foot strap, which is normal.
Okay.
So they felt like they were in a really good position. The foil track is very extra large. Even the drop box holes are very nice to just drop the foil in, slide it up. I like how they did an even smaller grip here underneath the board.
I was going to
it's
ask
only
you
3
about
fingers.
that.
Yeah, it's just, you know, better water flow, I think, over it. That's
And
kind of
I guess,
the idea behind it.
Does it make it a little lighter?
Probably saves you a couple ounces, but I
yeah.
think just overall it's probably has to do with better water flow, and it's not like a negative in any way. It's not much harder to carry. You're just leaving one extra finger out. And
When we first got the board, I showed it to you and you said, or where should you put the mast in the tracks?
mm-hmm.
And I suggested balancing it.
Yep.
Was that the right move?
Yeah, we put it at, I think, around in between 10 and 12 back of the mast, and, you know, picked up the board, felt pretty balanced. I think I might move it up just a hair, just
because it
get
was
a little
light.
More, yeah, just to get a little more front foot pressure. I felt like I could have adjusted it, but didn't have the tool on me in the water. So next time I'll probably play with that, move it up a little bit more towards like 15.
Cool. So just for reference, you feel that it's probably best to whatever size KT board, because again, this is a Kane design. He puts a lot of his own thought process, I'm most likely, into these designs. And he is a big, you balance your board and that's the way you figure out like the best center of lift, makes it also super shreddy. While we're talking about shreddy, did you feel that this board was shreddy?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
It felt great.
Very surfy.
Yeah, you know, I was on the 1300, so that was probably the limiting factor of the surfiness of it, like how much I could surf that wing.
Sure.
And it felt really good under the feet and really predictive, which is nice. So I just felt in tune with the foil. I didn't feel like I was disconnected at all.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure to ride.
Yeah, I mean, you're a really good foiler. We're all very aware of that. But the fact that like you connected with this board pretty immediately, I was super impressed. Again, I know that it has a lot to do with your ability, but the fact that you could just take a wing, a 1300 foil, that board, and I mean, you were up within 2 minutes of the water. So we're gonna go back to balancing the foil again. So did you have to make any major foot adjustments, or did everything feel pretty good right off the bat?
Like I said, I think I just had it a little farther back. So where I was standing on the board, felt good. I just had to move my feet back a little bit once I was up on foil to feel like that normal balance that I normally feel. So there's plenty of room to move it up. So I think that's going to be the next little tweak and feeling that out.
Cool. After going winging, you decided to take it out SUP. You brought your paddle down to the beach. And I was under the idea that you were going to just paddle into some waves, breaking waves. You decided to take it out into the bumps.
Yeah, I wanted to give it a real run for its money and see what this bottom design can do, because I've paddled up some small boards, but this is definitely the smallest so far. It's 95 liters. I think I'm 97, 98 kilograms, so a little under body weight. And I could definitely feel that when I was out in the bumps trying to just stand on it and balance and paddle.
Yeah.
But I think it took me 3 or 4 attempts to feel it out, lost my balance a few times, and then I was able to successfully paddle it up in the bumps, which was a goal of mine. I'm really stoked that I was able to do that. So
yeah, and that was ocean bumps.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where I can push this thing downwind subfoiling. You know, I'm definitely gonna be power winging on it a ton downwind, but I think it's this release point on this bottom is gonna be able to push me in and allow me to use it sup downwind.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, and I'm just looking at it right now, that nose, you know, it's not crazy narrow, but it definitely comes to a more narrower outline. I'm excited to see you ride this in the bay bumps, because I think this is going to be insane for you. Yeah,
and I really appreciate the extra volume in the nose, because being a heavier rider, I find with shorter boards, even with longer boards, a limiting factor sometimes is you kind of have to lean back on your back leg to keep that nose out of the water.
Yeah.
So having that extra volume up here on the smaller board helps keep that nose out of the water and keeps it from curling.
Do you feel that 95 is the right number for you?
Yeah, either this one or maybe the 104.
Okay.
You know, just to make life a little bit easier. Like, I don't know. You know, I haven't ridden the smaller sizes yet. I haven't ridden the bigger sizes. This is the only one I was on. It's just after one session. But I think, you know, that extra 10 liters of volume would probably be nice for the sup of it.
Yeah.
For power winging and winging, I think this is perfect. I don't really think I needed to size up.
And I feel like
felt balanced.
That's kind of what this board is being pushed towards, is winging and para winging.
Yeah.
It's not, you know, there's guys, I'm sure Kane is riding it SUP style. I'm sure Kai is doing that. I'm sure there's a couple team riders, but for like your day-to-day average guy, like there's obviously better options from KT for a sup board, especially if you're in the ocean in faster bumps, something a little narrower, and obviously something a little longer. But I was super pumped that you got to ride that in ocean bumps.
Yeah, like I knew I'd be able to sup it in the waves, so.
Totally. I want to sup it in the waves.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, that looks super fun.
Yeah, 6'3", I think is the length, 20.7 wide. So, I mean, it's not very big.
Yeah, it's not very big.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah. What's up with the airs?
I've been loving strapless airs. I mean, I remember seeing Ken Adgate do them in Hood River, and where he's out in California, and just thinking, man, it reminds me of kite surfing. So I've been doing them quite a bit and practicing them. I mean, it wasn't too successful yesterday. I only tried a few, landed a few, and then kind of just like blew out on a few when I landed on the water, just kind of lost my balance. But it's just so fun.
Yeah,
I just love like releasing the foil out of the water, kind of gluing the board to your feet, touching back down, re-engaging the foil.
Yeah.
It's just gonna take a little getting used to. This board really just bounces right off the water, which is, it's great. You know, even if like you're not trying to do an air and you just accidentally breach the foil, when you come back down, the volume in the nose doesn't allow the nose to sink too much, and it just rebounds off the water. So I think it'll be really good for just your beginner level guys that are having trouble, you know, maintaining their foil height.
Yeah.
You know, breach the foil, comes down, touch the foil off the water, pull in on the wing, and just keep going rather than having to, you know, slog back down and then pump back up on foil.
I don't really love this question, but I'm gonna ask it anyway.
What's my favorite pizza?
Yeah, what's your favorite pizza?
Because that's what everybody cares about.
That's right. The last time we talked about a board like this, It was another brand. Is this replacing that?
This is the Mistress right now.
This is the Mistress.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I definitely could see it replacing it.
Okay.
That other board gave me some good times and some good rides.
Yeah.
It's time to maybe move on to this guy.
Okay. All right. Well, you heard it first. That just happened. Can't take that back. Any last words about the KT or whatever? I know we just went over a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. I don't think so.
Construction?
Obviously, being a smaller board with the paddle strikes are inevitable on the board. I was a little worried because it was, 30 minutes into riding this thing and I dinged the foil right off the rail like twice. Came in, looked at it. I mean, like the tiniest little black mark, not even a sign of any cracking or anything. Just like you can see it right there, right, Dave?
Yeah.
Like
very minor.
Which they were some pretty significant. It might not have been the blade of the paddle, but it might have been just the shaft. And I was very, very happy to see that. I didn't crack the board in the first 30 seconds.
Totally. And this is the carbon. This is the regular carbon.
Yes. Yeah, this is not the Pro model.
Yeah,
so this
the
is not
Pro is supposed to be even
stronger.
Even stronger.
And a little bit lighter, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, weight-wise, I mean, it feels good to me. I know there's some weight snobs out there.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, for a production board, like you gotta understand, this is a production board. This is a factory-made board. This is not a backyard board. This is.
Yeah, you're not getting custom glassing and custom dimensions and like telling your shaper exactly what you want. This is, they're trying to make something that's gonna last. And
yeah.
I feel like this board is definitely gonna last.
Yeah, totally. And I think when we talk about weight to construction, like there's a really, really fine middle area. And I think this the fact that you hit it with the paddle, no problems. And, when you carry it, you're not carrying it sluggish. Like it's obviously light enough.
Yep.
And it's good enough.
Yeah, it's more than good enough.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
You didn't mean that.
Yeah, no, sorry, you're good enough. So, last thing, you're going to Hood River tomorrow?
Yeah.
What board are you riding?
KT.
What foils are you riding?
KT.
So we have KT foils on the way as well. We got a bunch of Nomads, we got a bunch of Atlases. I'm super pumped to ride that stuff too. But Ed is going to literally do a race with, do you know what foil you're gonna use?
I don't know. When I get there, I think Tyson's gonna hook me up with whatever he recommends with the conditions. So maybe the Atlas 790, 960, Nomad 830 or 980, whatever.
I heard the 830 is magic.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get to try it.
At the gorge.
At the gorge. That's the most New York accent at the gorge
I know,
ever.
that's why I said it. All right, cool. So I just wanted to add that. What are you doing? What are you doing there?
Yeah, so a couple of us from Jersey are flying out. They're doing the Gorge Challenge again. Did it 2 years ago. So excited to go back. This year they're doing a double downwind race. So 7 miles from Viento to the event site. And then you go back up and do it again, 7 miles Viento to the event site. So I think they add the two total times together and then that's your time for the race day, which will be pretty cool. Yeah, I'm excited to get on the KT gear out there. I've ridden the foils only a handful of times and not in downwind conditions yet. So really excited to put them through the paces out there. And I'll be riding the KT Dragonfly sub 110 liter out there. That's just, unless they tell me I can use a Super K2, then maybe I'll just use the next size up and ride that with the power wing and the paddle the whole time.
That's sweet. Hell yeah. Say hi to Eric Geiselman. He's there now.
Yeah, Eric's going to be there.
Yeah, Eric and Ross are going to be there.
I'm stoked. Yeah, Seth's going out from South Jersey.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's going out with the team unifoil. I know a bunch of the guys are going. Adam from Hawaii's going. So it's going to be a fun time seeing everybody.
Oh, that's right. Mike was saying that. Sick.
Yeah.
Right on. So I just want to say one thing about these boards when you get them. At the very back, you're going to see a little empty vent hole. There's a screw that comes in one of the little packages. be sure to put that screw in, or else the board's gonna feel a lot heavier when you get out of the water. It is something that they do not put in factory installed, so just make sure to add that and go enjoy. If you want yours, we got them in stock, so you can hit us up at greenhatkiteboarding.com. And I hope you enjoyed this little review with Ed. And until next time, go get on foil. Peace. If you want more reviews like this, like, comment, all that fun stuff. And you can check us out at greenhatkiteboarding.com.